Alright, we are just leaving the Long Neck Lair Alpaca Farm and Hostel and crossing a slip road and very built up area, basically going underneath Interstate 81, which in our trip down, when we drove down from DC, we basically drove along this road about just a little under 2 months ago. So we would have just sped along there, not a care in the world, and now we've at this point how far were we, do you reckon, from into our drive?
From where?
How long were we into our drive at this point? Like Southern Virginia, so
6 hours?
yeah. So after about 6 hours of driving, we'd got this far. I probably had another 4 or 5 to go, and it's taken us, just like I say, just under 2 months to get back to this point. So that's a nice sobering thought. But yeah, hoping to be back in the woods shortly. Don't like road walking, hard on the feet, especially after the 20-mile day yesterday. Feeling a lot better, feeling well rested. We just had another drink at our favourite Sunoco gas station. So I got pizza last night. I've got leftovers in my bag for lunch, so should be good. Oh dear. Right. Let's try and get away from civilization. Speak to you in a bit. Look what we've just come across in the woods. Quarter of the way.
Nice.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
Quarter of the way, huh? So it's about 550 miles then. Oh, that's pretty crazy. Oh, go on, stand by, I'll get you a picture. Quick nature update. Oh, we're only about 2.5 miles or so from where we're staying tonight, but I just thought this is interesting to show you. Well, first of all, what an incredible view, but like, you can see how spring's coming. Well, hopefully you can see through the phone, and like, if it's actually focused, there we go. Like, there's sort of thin layer of greenery on the trees. The spring's definitely coming in, but what's kind of cool is, hopefully it picks it up, but like, you can kind of see a border, like an altitude of where it's kind of where spring, I guess, is reached. Because obviously the lower elevation in the valleys is warming up a bit quicker than the ridge line, so the trees on the ridge, you can see straight through them. They don't have any leaves, whereas the ones down here are starting to bloom.
Hence why the bears are out.
Hence why the bears are out. Speaking of, we saw our first bear, and it wasn't just like in the woods or hiding up a tree or something like that. It was just standing in the middle of a field. Hopefully I got some good footage. I guess I'll just cut it in here, but like, I have no nature wildlife documentary skills, so most of my commentary was just, oh my god, a bear, and just try and stay quiet so I didn't spook it off. But yeah, enjoy our first bear encounter. Okay, this is not the campsite or shelter we were thinking of getting to, but it's basically the same thing. So there's you can see behind me, it's like a little picnic pavilion. I guess groups and day hikers and stuff can use for picnics and group outings and whatnot. It has power, but we don't want to mess around with the fuse board to try and figure out how to turn it on. I feel like that would be a bit cheeky. There are privies over there that look, what's the word? Yeah, it's they're a little sketchy looking, but functional in an emergency. So we just grabbed some cans of Coke and stuff from the little hostel. Just probably see the light back there. There was actually a hostel there, but because we just stayed at a hostel, didn't want to spend the extra money. Plus two showers in as many days is awfully decadent and bourgeoisie. So
Who do you think we are?
no, we're hiker trash. Damn it, we're gonna.
We hang out at a gas station.
We hang out at a gas station forecourts and don't shower for 4 days, 5 days even. But yeah, so we're just posted up here. There is a little space for tents over there, but well, it's getting late now and dark, and I might, wait. Is that the Forestry Service? No, it's not. Okay, that's fine. I don't think technically you're not allowed to camp here, but in my definition, camping is putting tents up and disturbing the land around it. That doesn't include just putting your sleeping bag and sleeping pad on a bench and sleeping under cover, like cowboy camping. No, we might put our tents up. I don't know yet.
Nah, we're gonna be up earlier.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, anyway, that's the end of today. Did about 13-ish miles, which is pretty good. Took us a while. We were a lot of stop-start. We had a long break. We got so distracted. Yeah, we had a lunch break. Had a long lunch break. We saw a turkey. We saw a bear. I think I might have seen a raccoon, but I don't know. Might have just been a big squirrel. But yeah, much better day than yesterday. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the plan is for tomorrow, but there's definitely a big climb involved. And then some nicer looking ridge walking afterwards, so we'll see. Anyway, that's it for tonight, and I'll catch you guys in the morning. Hey everyone, I realised I did no intro video or anything for yesterday. So in brief, we did 11 miles, ended up here, had some incredible views, had to ford a river, which was fun, which all the comments said it was like 3 foot deep, but it only turned out to be about a foot deep really, so it was fine in the end. I got a few clips of it, but it was just really hot and there was a lot of climbing yesterday, so I didn't get around to filming too much. Anyway, today we're probably going to aim for around 15 miles to get down to a bunch of tent sites, because the shelters are kind of awkwardly placed from here. They're like, there's one at 10, which isn't really enough, and then one at like 24, 25, which is far too much. So we're going to sort of split the difference and head for a road crossing and a stream that has tent sites on around it. So aim for that, and then we've got our plan for the next few days is to try and get to Woods Hole Hostel on Sunday with a bunch of other people, which is kind of like a donation-based hostel in like some 1800s log cabin. So you kind of pay what you feel. They have a suggested rate, obviously, but you can kind of pay what you like, and it's all like farm to table, organic home cooking, and they do yoga at 4 p.m. and it sounds like some kind of hippie love fest, but I'm not out here if not for new experiences, so we'll give it a shot. But yeah, we'll hopefully have some good views today. It should be pretty sunny today, hopefully. Not at the moment, it's kind of still early, so there's still a bit of haze in the air. But yeah, I'll catch you along. Catch you later. Alright, that was a very tough 6 miles. It's like, there's not much major elevation change, but there's just lots of little ups and downs over this ridge. And so it just takes it out of you, especially with the heat. But spirits are high because we can hear through the trees what sounds like the trail magic we've been expecting today. So we heard from some other people at the shelter this morning that they had seen that a legendary trail angel called Fresh Grounds and his Leapfrog Cafe was in the area. So they messaged him on Instagram and said, hey, we're crossing this road in about 6 miles. And he was like, cool, I'll be there. So this will be our first time meeting him. And he's, like I say, he's a bit of a legend in the AT through hiking community. Just because I know I've seen him crop up in other people's videos. You know, he's like a regular on the trail, and everything's like done as a, you know, donation thing. He just spends the season going up and down the trail giving food to hikers. So yeah, looking forward to this. Let's see what we get.
There's like 3 where I got bags. I don't want to get bags. Yeah, I got Ziploc bags. But maybe taking a pipe. Okay, here we go. Everybody's had a burrito? Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and cook the rest out real quick, all right? That way. So nip it tight and let one go. It keeps you warm. It's coming out. It keeps you warm at night.
So this morning was tough because of the terrain and the heat. And this afternoon now, much flatter, a bit cooler. But I am one stuffed boy. I've drank probably about 2 gallons of Gatorade. I had 2 large burritos that he'd made up, and I am incredibly full. How was your first Fresh Grounds encounter?
Amazing.
Yeah. I just had to briefly pause there because we just had to casually interact with a woman called Dragonfly, who is just doing the small task of trying to be the oldest woman or oldest person to through hike the AT at 84 years old. So all that complaining just then, like, oh, my tummy's full, oh, it's warm, oh, it's up and down. I need to stop bitching because, yeah, she's out here hiking. Yeah, like I say, hoping to hike the trail as the oldest person to do it, which is pretty crazy. So, but yeah, Fresh Grounds, we might see him again. He said he was heading home for the weekend. He might pop out a little further ahead of us. So depending on what miles we do, we may see him again. Should be very much welcomed. So, but you know, thank you to Fresh Grounds and thank you to all of the people who donate to him. So he runs it as a non-profit. It's all run entirely on donations. So if you want to help feed hikers, you can always donate to him. But yeah, very full. Still got 9 miles to go to the campsite. So we will be taking those very easy. And hopefully we get there in one piece. Speak to you in a bit. Alright, a quick update for today. Very warm still, but the trail magic from Fresh Grounds was very much appreciated. It definitely sort of gave me a bit of a second wind, especially with all like I drank far too much Gatorade, but like I had to feel like I didn't need to drink anything for quite some time after that. I was pretty full, but yeah, it's just really nice and really nice to see him. So again, like I've said, I've seen him in other people's videos and stuff, and like, you know, the fact that there are people out here who dedicate this much of their life and their time to, you know, to helping hikers and stuff. It does feel a bit weird because obviously we are like quite, you know, yes, it's nice to have a hot meal, and yes, it's nice to have a cold drink and stuff, but like, not really the ones who need help. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know, it just feels weird because, you know, we're walking around with like hundreds, if not sometimes people have thousands of dollars worth of gear on their back. You know, we're not like impoverished or like, you know, hard up, or at least, you know, a lot of us aren't. I'm sure there are people who are, you know, just scrape together what gear they have, but like for the most part, you know, we're not like the people are out on the trail because they can afford to be, basically, you know. It's not a cheap endeavor. You know, we are very lucky and very privileged to be able to do this, and like, you know, but it's there's a bit of a weird disconnect sometimes with obviously it's kind of different with like trail angels who make it specifically, it's a thing they do for hikers because they were hikers and all that sort of stuff. But like, sometimes you see like church groups that come and hand out stuff, and they're like, oh, you know, God told us to come and help hikers. And it's like, shouldn't he be, there's more needy people he should be telling you to look after. But oh well, it's just one of the many things I've been pondering in my many hours of silence, just walking along the trail. But yeah, anyway, did 15 miles today. Just got to a campsite at a place called Laurel Creek, which I don't know if you can hear, but it is almost just right next to a road anyway. But there's a nice little cascading waterfall that we stuck our feet in just to cool them off. And yeah, so we're at mile 585 now, and we're planning to do 18 tomorrow, which means we'll pass the 600 mile mark, which is crazy because the 500 miles, like when we were in the Grayson Highlands, seems like no time ago at all. But yeah, anyway, very tired. Big day tomorrow. We're hoping to get the start early, not only because it's a long day, but because there is rain forecast there was rain originally forecast at 9, and now the rain is forecast for 1, which means it will arrive at 5 in the morning, because it always does. That's what's happened the last few times. We've been like, oh, we'll have an easy morning, and no, it doesn't. So, preparing to put away a wet tent, at least. That's going to be fun. It might not happen. It might be a beautiful day. I need to stop being so pessimistic. Anyway, yeah, looking forward to that tomorrow. We continue the push onto Woods Hole Shelter, so hostel even. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Right, actually, scratch that. Quick update. So like I said, we did 15 miles today. 6 miles in is where Fresh Grounds was. And, you know, someone just found, like, I think I said, like, someone messaged him on Instagram because he said he was in the area. But, like, we're just all in our tents now. So there's me, Korik is in her tent, and an older couple, Bagel and Smokey, who were at the Trail Magic earlier. So their tent's just over there. And, like, just as we're all winding down, just hanging out in our tents, you just hear someone walk over and it's like, hey guys, it's Fresh Grounds. I was parked up here for the night and saw some tents, so if you all want some breakfast in the morning, I'll be doing breakfast. I was like, what the f-? So, like, just by sheer coincidence, he's obviously driven down from where he was earlier and parked up. As I said, we were just by the road. So he's parked up in that little parking lot. And he saw the tents and he said, "Oh, come make us breakfast in the morning." So, like, how amazing is that? So he said, "Oh yeah, well, I've got eggs, bacon, pancakes, orange juice. I've got everything that I need to finish up before I head home." It's like I said, he's heading home for the weekend after this, so like, he's got food to spare. So like, oh, what an incredible coincidence. That is trail magic. That's real trail magic there. Especially knowing, because obviously we knew where he was going to be earlier, so we knew to expect it, or had a good idea to expect it. But that was completely out of the blue. So yeah, I'm more excited than I was before to wake up at like 5:30, but I'll be there now. Alright, good night, catch you in a bit. Good morning. We are just climbing out of Laurel Creek. We've just had breakfast with Fresh Grounds. Like I said, they just turned up at our campsite last night and said, "Hey, I'll be here in the morning." So we had eggs, sausage, potatoes, orange juice, pancakes, which were delicious, but I'm sorry to say America will remain a dessert food and not a breakfast food. They offer dessert and then one random Tuesday, sometime around Easter, on Pancake Day. But they were very good. Yeah, hoping to push for the 18-mile shelter today. There's supposed to be rain this afternoon, so we're trying to get good pace this morning, try and get as much done as we can before the rain comes. And hopefully get a spot in the shelter. But otherwise, if not, it should be fine, because I think tomorrow is going to be dry, and then Sunday we should be at the hostel, so shouldn't have to worry too much about wet gear for too long, if that is the case. Anyway, yeah, just climbing up, like I said, onto yet another ridge, and I'll catch you in a bit. Oh, and one more thing, actually, because we're first people out of the campsite, and I'm walking at the front of the two of us. I am on spider web duty, so it seems like whoever's walking first through a section of trail in the morning is the one who's responsible for clearing all the spider webs just by walking into them. So every now and then I just have to like kind of walk and just do this in front of me with my trekking poles if I'm lucky enough to see the web. Otherwise I just sort of catch it in my face and beard, and that's not very pleasant, but I'm doing my duty for the people coming up hiking behind us, so you know. Alright, speak to you in a bit. Look what we just found. 600 miles.
Hi.
Do you feel like you've walked 600 miles?
I feel injured.
Oh yeah.
Like injury.
Yeah, you are wounded.
Yeah.
You're afflicted. But I'm not leaving you behind. I know. I'm so generous. Alright, we got about 4 miles to the shelter, just less. And hopefully there's water between here and there because we're running low. But yeah. Long day. But that's a nice milestone to get to.
Tell me about the deli.
The deli? Oh, I don't want to talk about that. It was closed. There was a little like sitting area, fortunately, which was covered because there was a massive rainstorm that came in just as we arrived, so we could sit there and wait it out. But apparently the owner had some kind of medical appointment or emergency. It was very selfish of them, so I couldn't get a burger. So So of course I'm very aggrieved, but oh well. Hopefully next time. Good morning. We are about 5.5 miles or something into the day. So plan for today is about 14.5 miles to a shelter called Wapiti Shelter, and that should set us up nicely for a 7-mile day into the hostel tomorrow, which is effectively a Nero at this point. We could probably quite easily get that done by like 10, 11 in the morning if we wake up early enough. So yeah, that's looking forward to that. Looking forward to a shower. We've been doing a lot of ridge walking this morning, but yeah, I'll just show you. You can see spring is truly arriving, and the leaf cover is kind of all coming in now. Like, you see up here? Really cool to be able to see spring coming in as you're like living in it. But that obviously means that all these ridges that we're walking along, the views are sort of ever diminishing, because you know, when we first started and it was just tree trunks and like empty branches, you could see through and see pretty far, whereas now things are starting to get obstructed, so we have to sort of wait for more like rocky outcrops and any bolds and things like that to get cool views. But you know, I like to think more of Virginia, I think, is kind of like pretty rather than like the dramatic nature of like the White Mountains or the Smokies or something. So yeah, like I say, we've got a few more miles to go this morning before we get to a road crossing where we can walk up and get to a gas station with a deli, because I'm still pining for hot food after yesterday's misadventure, and being unable to, you know, scratch that itch. And so yeah, if this place is closed as well, and I've also walked half a mile to get to it, I'm not going to be a happy boy. But we'll see how it goes. All right, speak to you in a bit. Right, we're about 2 miles from our shelter. We just had a nice little break by the very pleasantly named Dismal Creek, which sounds like something out of one of the Series of Unfortunate Events books. But we realised as well, today is the 20th of April, which in American is 420, which is your tag day. On the unrelated note, some guy, while we were sat by the creek, came down the trail and was like, "Hey, do you want to buy some herb for today?" I'm not sure what he meant. Perhaps he's just an industrious young man trying to sell spices and seasonings, because obviously hiker food can be quite bland. But you know, I'm not entirely sure what he's talking about. It doesn't will remain a mystery. Anyway, yeah, 2 miles to the shelter. So we'll speak to you in a bit. Good morning. We are on our just coming up through our brief 7-mile walk from the Wapiti shelter down at Dismal Creek. Just done about just short of 2.5 mile climb up onto the ridge again. So we're just following that around and then heading down towards Woods Hole Hostel. So we'll probably be there in about 2 or 3 hours, probably less. But yeah, looking forward to today. Should be quick day in, and then Corrick's mum is also coming to do another little day visit, which will be nice. So I think we're hoping we might be able to, when we get to the hostel, she meets us there, might just be able to get a quick lift into town to do a quick resupply and maybe get some food. You have to Google if there is a Dairy Queen so we're not sorely disappointed, but or at least a Wendy's or something. There is a Hardee's. I've never been to Hardee's.
I don't care about Hardee's.
Oh, okay. Anyway, and then get back to the hostel with enough time to relax, edit videos, go to their free yoga session at 4. That should be interesting. And then we're booked in to have the communal dinner with everyone, which is like, because it's all like organic farm to table thing, I think it's like a vegetarian meal. And there's a few comments in Far Out that seem to suggest that they do like a giving thanks ceremony, or so, like, I don't know, like I guess like a humanistic version of saying grace, I guess. I don't know. And like everyone says thank you for something. I don't know. It's hard to tell exactly what we're getting into, but I'm excited to see what the the experience is going to be like, nonetheless. So yeah, if I stop uploading after this, it's because I have taken up the hippie lifestyle, shunned material goods, and now just work on a communal farm in rural Virginia or something like that. So
I mean, that doesn't sound half bad.
it doesn't sound bad actually, yeah, to be fair. This is how they get you. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so yeah, just a short one today. So I'll catch you around. I'll show you the hostel in a bit.